trying to say I'm tongue-tied, tongue-tied. Whenever you are near me, I'm mummy, 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 mummy. Whenever you're around, whenever you're around, girl.
Once again, let's just go right into season 8.
Look at me body.
There's an invitation that will not cause a stampede.
I love how in Back in the Red, Part 1, they remembered what Kat was wearing at the end of Nanarchy, but not only is Kachansky wearing a totally different outfit, not even a similar style as before, she looks like she's just one of the guys now, but she's suddenly blonde.
Just moved from blue alert to red alert, sir.
Let's go all the way up to brown alert.
And there's another brown trousers comment.
But there's no such thing as brown alert, sir.
You won't be saying that in a minute. And don't say I didn't alert you.
That one's pretty good.
How long have we got? About the time it takes to read a stop sign, sir.
That's okay then. I don't always get through those in one sitting.
And another Cat is dumb gag.
It's gonna be like getting crushed to death in a gigantic trouser press.
Freshly laundered and wrinkle-free. I always prayed I'd go out like that.
When Starbug crashes, poor Cat nearly doesn't make it out. Crichton has to help him out of his seat, and he seems to be suffering smoke inhalation. I guess this is to set up the metabase scene later. It's weird how they never talk directly to Cat in this scene.
You don't believe this one's human?
They just treat him like some specimen, and he doesn't even seem to notice or care.
6 nipples? I wonder what the female of the species is like.
Pretty easy to please in bed.
The rest of the fandom is all, oh my god, Identity Within is canon! And I'm just over here like, that's cute, Cat's trying to impress the female doctor. Seriously, look at this look he gives her.
This guy's intestines look better than my quarters.
They point out that his organs are color coordinated and his heartbeat sounds musical. I don't take any of that seriously, I just consider it rule of funny.
What's the point of disguise if you wear it under your normal outfit?
A gray boy, see? You think I'm gonna wear this on the outside?
In part 2,
I've watched a lot of TV shows, and we all huddle together like this and whisper for a while before we answer. It looks like we know what we're doing.
I love how Cat takes charge for this one bit.
You see how good that looks?
He has seen a lot of TV after all.
I got a great idea for a new disguise.
You know, I think I finally realized what ruined Dwayne Dibley for me. This fucking scene where it's Cat's idea to dress up as him and he's thrilled about it. The entire point of Dwayne Dibley is that he's supposed to be the opposite of how Cat wants to be.
Superficial is my middle name.
Cat is supposed to hate becoming him. I mean, Emo Hawk was kind of blatantly fanservice-y about having Cat and Rimmer become Dwayne Dibley and Ace respectively, but at least it remembered those characters hate their alter egos. It was something that was forced on them. I mean, I'm not too bothered about the disguises as a bit of fan service, but it would have made more sense if it was Lister's idea and Cat had to be talked into it. Here it just comes across like the creators don't care how it happens as long as they get this fan service in. As of season 12, this is the last time Dwayne Dibley has shown up in any form, so since I'm basically done talking about him for the foreseeable future, have this random picture I stumbled on of Paul McCartney using a giant toothbrush because I didn't know where else to fit it in. Remind you of anyone?
But how can we be sure?
Why do we care? Nothing makes any sense no matter where we are.
Okay, one of the issues I have with Season 8 is that Cat is generally wasted, but he does have a few really standout scenes throughout. This scene in Part 3 is easily the best. So they need clearance from the ground controller to be able to fly Blue Midget. Turns out she's really cute.
Wow!
So Cat tries to get that clearance by first flirting with her.
I'm smooth. Smooth.
The very fact that she's even receptive to it should have clued everyone in that none of this was really happening. Then he does a serenade of sorts where he not only dances, but he seems to have a sudden strange power over machinery with how he gets the Blue Midgets to dance with him. It starts off a little slow, but it picks up shortly after the costume change. Here we go. Like Tongue-Tied, I almost can't believe this scene exists. It makes me such a happy fangirl. You'd think he'd get into trouble for breaking all that glass.
You free Saturday?
I am now.
Cat definitely earned that cigar. I guess now I have to add smoke rings to the list. along with dancing, juggling, roller skating, singing, riding a unicycle, gun twirling, and chopping vegetables like a pro.
None of that was real? You mean after all this, I still haven't got a date? Another year when I have to send a Valentine card to my hand.
See, either Kat has had sex recently or he hasn't. He's not Schrodinger's cat.
There'll be a cryptic clue around somewhere. Something like a trap door or exit.
Here's another Kat is dumb gag.
I got it! There's a button here with E11T on it.
They know they're in a simulation now because suddenly Kat is the one catching all the clues.
EXIT. Exit.
That's it.
We'll just skip over the claymation bit. God, it's unfunny.
Him come with us? Are you out of your mind? That's so dumb, I should have said it.
Even Kat knows he's dumb.
Why would I want to take off with you lot? What have you got to offer?
I'm so gorgeous, there's a 6-month waiting list for birds to suddenly appear every time I'm near.
How long has Kat been holding on to that phrase, I wonder? Again, while Lister is trying to convince Rimmer to join them, Kat is just kind of silently reacting in the background.
He's in? Let's celebrate. I'll crack open a bottle of cyanide.
Back in Blue Midget, there's a different ground controller.
You're the ground controller? Reality sucks.
Kat isn't so interested in this one, so they just take off. I love this bit.
Einstein. Wasn't he the dude who discovered America?
Kat knows he's heard the name Einstein before, but can't quite place it.
Einstein discovered the theory of relativity.
Where did he discover it? Was it fossilized and stuff?
Once again, Kat reactions.
You dying is the last thing we want, bud. Especially me. Hell, I'll probably have to help dig the hole.
In Cassandra, Kat has a few funny lines, and that's about it.
Whose bra? 181? Probably your own.
All the hairs on the back of my neck are standing on end.
Mine too. Not just the ones on the back of my neck. It's one up, all up.
Not quite a brown trousers comment, but definitely TMI.
It's not the first time we've been in a situation like this, is it?
Hell no. We've drunk coffee thousands of times.
Future echoes, remember?
Future echoes. All right.
Wow, even Kat remembers Future Echoes. He does do something hilariously stupid, though.
In other words, if I... What's that for? You can't die.
Yeah, but I can still feel pain, you smegger.
Are you asking me to betray the people I live with? To ignore their humanity and reduce them to mindless sex objects merely there for your moronic titillation?
Yes, please.
Same with Cridey TV.
You shower with the girls.
So hideously dull I can't describe it.
There he goes, sticking his tongue out again.
Screw his appeal. I want to see skin.
Yeah. What'd you say, Bird Tray Head?
It's pretty bad to be agreeing with Kill Crazy. His reaction to the change in movie is pretty cute.
This is a joke, right? This is a...
Wow, look at those eyes light up.
Forget the appeal.
I already have.
He also gives zero fucks that Lister is being pranked and finds it hilarious.
Why? You gotta get me back to normal.
The way Pete handles Kat is a little weird. After the last 2 episodes, the creators seem to go, hey, we need more for Kat to do. Let's have a bunch of scenes where he gets beat up.
Seems like a nice guy.
At least the first one is kind of funny. It's definitely in character for Kat to not know when to shut up.
I was just saying how nice you seemed. You spoke again.
Plus, it's to show how horrible Ackerman is. So it's almost like they agree with me that hurting Kat is messed up.
That is definitely the key.
Later on, Kat has a lot of cute bits during the basketball scene.
Try moving fast with a fishing pole in your pants.
Also, Danny's good at basketball, along with dancing, juggling, roller skating, singing, riding a unicycle, gun twirling, chopping vegetables like a pro, and blowing smoke rings. The second scene where Kat gets beat up, it's supposed to be funny, but it just falls flat for me. Apparently he bumped into Baxter and caused him to spill his soup, but the last shot you see Kat in, he's at the back of the line, so he had to have moved really quickly. And if he can do that, why can't he just get away from Baxter? I mean, hell, he once kneed a possessed Lister in the crotch while being strangled. If nothing else, he's supposed to have really quick reflexes. I can buy that he can't fight well without a bazookoid, but he should be able to get away and hide or something until Baxter cools off. That's what my cats do when they make me mad. And besides, there's a reason it took 8 seasons for Kat to get beat up. He's supposed to be untouchable. It's part of his cool factor. Hence scenes like Wax Droid Caligula slapping Lister instead of Kat when Kat won't stop insulting him. And it's part of why Lister takes the snowball in the face instead of Kat. It's kind of like the Dwayne Dibley thing in Back in the Red. It's like the creators needed a thing to happen to advance the plot, realized that Cat is lacking screen time, so they just have Cat do the thing or have the thing done to him to kill two birds with one stone without taking his character or abilities into account. It's kinda sloppy. Part of me is a little disappointed that the cat proverbs are now just being played for laughs.
There's no cat saying which has particular relevance here.
But this is a cute line.
We are all gonna die.
No one need be any the wiser.
He's right. I just listened to everything he said, and I still ain't got a clue what's happening.
Cat doesn't really do anything in part 2 other than having a few cute lines. Geez, how many times have I said something like that in this video?
Maybe we should have made some poppadoms. Gone the whole hog.
A whole hog? Like it wasn't hard enough getting the whole cow? Something's inside me and it wants to get out.
And being the butt of this alien gag.
It's overloaded. We've lost Mr. Rimmer.
At last, things are looking up.
Only the Good starts off with Cat complaining about the work they have him doing. The joke is that it sounds like they have him breaking rocks or something, but it turns out that it has to do with rock music.
I gotta put all the rock albums on the PA system. I gotta change those suckers once every 45 minutes.
I don't see how that's any worse than flying Starbug, which he was more than happy to do, but rule of funny, I guess. Or maybe it's different when it's something he doesn't choose to do on his own. Come to think of it, I can relate. Okay, here comes Cat's other standout scene.
Pass us all, would you?
If you think Cat is annoying on accident, just look how bad he can be when he really puts his mind to it.
What in the hell are you doing, Shirley? I'm stealing your fries, fat boy.
Anyway, he wants this guy to beat him up so he'll end up in the hospital, which is where Rimmer and Lister are after having their stomachs pumped.
Things are changing round here. From now on, marshmallow ass, you're my bitch.
I feel like he's using that food as a cushion so his teeth don't get broken. What is Season 8's obsession with Cat getting beat up? Either way, it doesn't happen here because the plan backfires spectacularly.
Okay.
The guy is like, wow, if you're not afraid of me, you must really be a badass.
You want me to be your bitch? That's fine by me, sir. I just want to make you happy.
Then hit me.
And hurt my baby's kisser? Nothing doing.
Damn.
God, this scene is great. Plan B is to just dress up like a nurse. I don't know why he didn't just do that in the first place. By the way, Danny had a great comment about this.
It wasn't until I actually saw it back, and I thought, gee, I look like my mum.
But hey, at least we get to see an alternate version of Cat.
Cesium, frankolithic, mixy, alibidium, rixy, dixy, doxy, dexy, droxide.
Professor Cat is no slave to fashion, but he is oddly charming.
Can I have an extremely long piece of paper, my dear?
So that's Cat from Season 8. Like I said, he's got a couple of amazing moments, but for the most part, he's pretty much wasted. It's kind of like Season 1 again, where the writers don't really know what to do with Cat, so they just stick him in wherever they can so he gets more screen time. Really, they kind of wrote themselves into a corner with this prison setting when it comes to Cat. You've got Rimmer and Lister in one cell, Crichton and Kachansky in another, and Cat is elsewhere. Granted, that's usually the case, but with the prison setting, Cat can't just show up whenever. He's mostly limited to canary missions and cafeteria scenes. And again, Season 8 is just kind of shallow. Like I said when I covered it, they reunite Lister with his old drinking buddies, and then he gets pulled away, never sees them again, and that's not addressed at all because they're too busy making jokey jokes. And the same goes for Cat. I don't expect him to get a lot of development or anything, but he's suddenly without all of his clothes and has to dress like everyone else, and he has to follow orders. You'd think that'd be a thing that would have some impact on him, but again, not addressed. Except for the one scene in Only the Good where he complains about having to play records. As far as Cat's appearance this time around, it's pretty close to Season 7, only a reduced version of the sculpted bump has returned, making his hair look less soft, which I'm not a big fan of. The rest is about the same. His makeup is about the same too, as far as I can tell. Also, this is probably going to be the shortest costume segment I've ever done. In general, being that it's a prison setting, Cat basically has to dress like everyone else, but there are a couple minor things that set him apart. His canary uniform is the only one where the yellow shirt is shiny. Also, he gets to wear the cat belt with it. Same goes for the lilac jumpsuit, though the cat belt doesn't appear until towards the end. Throughout Back in the Red, he mostly wears that outfit that first showed up in Nanarchy. Then he wears it again at the end of Only the Good. I mean, it's the only outfit he has after Starbug blows up, so that makes sense. For the blue midget dance, he wears the waist-length blue sequin jacket with the blue satin trim and diamond buttons that he wore in the beginning of Nanarchy. Only this time it's with blue pants made out of the same fabric as the trim, with sequins up the sides, and a matching blue shirt with a brooch of some kind instead of a tie. Also a sparkly blue cummerbund and black and white saddle shoes. It's an amazing outfit, but again, I wish he hadn't already worn the jacket in a previous episode. Also, they kind of overdid it with the lipstick again. In Pete, on one hand, Cat wearing a basketball uniform, especially the same one as everyone else, is so wrong. On the other hand, I get to see him all sweaty with messed up hair, and damn, I didn't know this was a gun show. Later on, he's wearing the outfit from Beyond a Joke, but where did he get it? It wasn't the outfit he was wearing when Starbug blew up. Maybe he was able to make a new one. That might explain why he's wearing the silver cat belt this time. He didn't have a chance to have the gold one remade yet. So that's about all I have to say about Cat in Season 8. Yeah, not much to talk about, really. Thank God Back to Earth treats him better, which I'm also just gonna jump right into. Speaking of jumping, that's how Cat makes his first appearance. From the glass ceiling.
What happened to you? You got a minute?
So, Cat's been attacked by a giant squid, and I love how he tells this story.
This massive testicle shoots up out of the water and grabs me by the throat.
I mean, he was genuinely scared.
It pulls me down into the icy waters, and I'm shouting and screaming because everything I'm wearing is dry clean only.
Not just for his life, but for his clothes.
So I combed my hair and fainted. Came to, I'm on the floor by the side of the tank. No sign of the creature.
They all want to kill it, but Cat wants no part of that.
I'm still in trauma. Look at my suit. It may not pull through. I'm a cat. Nobody bosses Mr. C around, buddy.
Mr. C, that's a new one.
If I flushed the entire ship's supply of tuna out of an airlock?
When are we leaving?
Gotta love how quickly his mood changes.
And we go in 2 minutes.
2 minutes? 2 minutes? I need to make myself look sensational. Make it 3.
So of course he's holding up the wrong number of fingers. It's been a while since he did that.
And don't wear nothing lilac.
Fun fact, notice how it fades to black before Cat is all the way out the door? There's an outtake where Danny tripped on the way out.
Oh, wee!
I think rather than doing a retake, they just cut the scene short.
I saw something moving. My bowels if you keep shouting like that.
Brown trousers. Poor Cat got all wet and had his hair and clothes messed up twice in one episode. He's just having a really bad day. Katarina shows up and Cat seems awfully interested in her being a hard light hologram. Later when they're all teleported to the department store, I love how everyone else has a nasty, painful landing, while Cat just lands on his feet and dances away.
Yeah.
Also the lack of reaction from those people in the background. It's subtle, but I love Cat's reaction here.
Who incidentally has a very small penis.
I love Cat's version of an identity crisis here.
I'm not real either? Does that mean I'm not really this good looking?
Poor sad kitty. And he holds that expression for a really long time, too.
And their metaphysical odyssey begins.
All my life, I've wanted to go on a metaphysical odyssey. For years, I never thought I'd get the chance.
Wow, that's a very specific goal there, Cat.
How are we gonna trace our creators? We ain't got no wheels, ain't got no dough.
I know it's nitpicky, but I don't like Cat using slang like wheels and dough. He's usually more literal than that. I'll go into it more later, but I love Cat making the little origami squids.
Fish scale?
Not fish.
Cat would definitely recognize the smell of fish.
Where'd you get my coat?
Like I said, I kind of like Cat being the muscle of the group. There's another great little Cat is dumb gag.
Big boss, he big your brain. He big your brain too. It was a Friday.
I already talked about how this bit was a bitch to film, partly because Danny kept messing up his lines.
Security check. Oh, bollocks.
It's cute how Craig was really nice about it, though.
Oh, Dan. It's not your fault, mate.
He was clearly in a bad mood, but he didn't want Danny to think it was his fault.
Don't let it stress you out.
Yeah, don't worry.
We'll always
doesn't matter.
We're going to come back to this anyway.
We've done it once.
We're going to come back to this anyway. We're going to come back to this when we've got makeup.
It's kind of sweet.
This is worse than Rimmer World.
Considering what he said about Rimmer World, that's pretty bad.
Can you imagine a society composed entirely of me?
The last time I did that, it took me a week to dry the mattress.
Here's a really subtle Cat is dumb gag.
I know you're not all here.
He's not all here, but the rest of us are.
Yeah.
I love Cat catching the gun. He's kind of a badass again.
Ow!
And there's another fall over. Doesn't quite top the one from Epideme, but it's always fun to see Cat do that. This is the point where Cat finally questions why he's been making origami squids.
What is it with these damn things? Why do I keep making them?
I love that detail. I know it's a reference to Blade Runner, but it's also Cat having some kind of sixth sense. He subconsciously knows that something is off, and that it has to do with a squid, so he starts absent-mindedly expressing that by making little origami squids. And he doesn't know why he's doing it, it just feels right for some reason.
Why'd I be making squids?
And of course, it eventually leads to the revelation that all of this has been a hallucination triggered by a female despair squid. Cat's sense of smell is back.
Kachansky? I can smell her perfume.
And I think this is the first time he's ever referred to Kachansky by her actual name. And now, everyone comes out of it, except for Lister. And watch Cat's reaction.
What if Monkey Boy chooses not to fight this?
Aww. Again, big step up from season 1. Hell, it's a big step up from Identity Within. Anyway,
I kinda brought her.
It's all Cat's fault.
I'm gonna eat you, little fishy, 'cause I like little fish.
There's a fun callback. So that's Cat and Back to Earth, and I like him so much better than I did the last couple seasons. In fact, he's basically season 6 Cat again. Aside from not getting any piloting to do, he's got fast reflexes, can be kind of aggressive when he needs to be, has heightened senses, and even shows a little bit of sensitivity. And in a weird way, he's smarter than everyone else because some part of his brain figured out what was happening early on. He just didn't know how to process that information. But of course, he's still sometimes goofy and sassy and dramatic. He even looks a bit more like he did in season 6. They don't go overboard with the makeup, and his hair has just a little bit of poof and a prominent ponytail. Okay, maybe the hair is more season 7. And even though he only wears 3 outfits, it's a 3-episode miniseries, so that balances out, even though he goes through all 3 in the first episode. Rather than going in chronological order, I'll get the ridiculous one out of the way first. That diving suit. What the hell was he thinking? I actually didn't like this one at first. It's a metallic hot pink bodysuit with a codpiece type thing, which I guess is meant to hold guns, and these weird gauntlets and shoulder guard looking things which are all covered in sequins. And there are weird bell-bottom looking ruffles on the legs. He's also got pink goggles to go with it and a matching pink band in his hair. So I'm always trying to point out that while his outfits aren't really appropriate for the setting, they tend to look good on their own, and he tends to balance out bright colors with black, so they're sensible in their own weird way. So I hated this thing when I first saw it because it kind of ignores that. But then I realized a couple things. First of all, I think it's a callback to the gold spacesuit with the giant jeweled cufflinks he wore back in Crichton. So this isn't totally out of character, is it? It's just rare. I guess for Cat, this was another special occasion, so he went nuts. I think another reason for this ridiculous outfit is that it had been nearly a decade since the last season of Red Dwarf, and since Cat is known for his over-the-top outfits, they wanted to try to top the previous ones, and also nostalgia. So yeah, I don't love it. I think I'd be okay with it if it were just the bodysuit without all the crazy accessories, but it doesn't bother me or anything. It also doesn't leave much to the imagination. In fact,
I've given pleasure to the world because I have such a beautiful ass.
You can pretty much judge for yourself here if that's true or not. So regarding the other 2 outfits, I like to separate Cat's changes in style into eras. Like the first 2 seasons were more or less the era for super nice suits. Then things got a bit more erratic as the costume department started experimenting, and then he settled into the black vinyl and leather era. Well, even though there's only 2 outfits, it's only a 3-episode series and there's a theme, so I like to call this the fur coat era. The first outfit we see him in is actually the black vinyl pants and turtleneck base with the cat belt from season 6 and 7. Though I literally just noticed that you can actually see some suspenders added, but they can only be seen in this one shot. With that fur coat that originally showed up in Marooned. Old pieces, but we've never seen them together before, and I kind of love the combination of fluffy whitish fur with shiny black vinyl. That's a really interesting look. And even though a lot of his hair has come out of it, the rest is secured in a little silver bow in the back. Too bad we only get to see this outfit messed up. I did find an image online that appears to have been taken before that. Either they had Danny get into costume and did his hair properly before messing it all up, or maybe there was going to be an early scene from before the squid attack. Either way, here's what it would have looked like. The final outfit we see Cat in, which he wears for most of Back to Earth, is easily one of my favorites. Pants, frilly shirt, and vest all made of red satin. The black sequin shapes look like they might have been taken off the jacket from Back to Reality, which is kind of appropriate. Also, I think that another one of those is in his hair. I've read that this outfit is meant to be a bit of a callback to the Riviera Kid costume, and yeah, after having read that, I can kind of see it. Mainly how the frilly shirt and vest go together, along with the placement of the decorative bits. Though the fact that it's a totally different color scheme makes that a little hard to catch. Over that, he's wearing a long coat that seems to be made of maroon long pile velvet with a brown fur trim with matching brown suede boots. And while it doesn't show up too well on the brown, I believe it's got that black corsage looking pin from season 7. Man, this outfit is gorgeous. Now that I'm looking at it again, it's competing with that zebra print coat for my all-time favorite Cat outfit. So that's pretty much all of my thoughts on Cat, as far as how he's portrayed in Red Dwarf season 6 through 9. Once again, Cat surprised us with how much he had grown and matured in Season 6. Unfortunately, he regressed a little in Season 7, which would have been reflected in Identity Within, and it carried over into Season 8. But then Back to Earth Cat felt a lot more like Season 6 Cat. After this, I'll be picking up with the Red Dwarf vlogs starting on Season 10, and the rest of the Cat videos won't start until I've covered the rest of the series. See you then.
When I saw you for the first time, my knees began to quiver, and I got a funny feeling in my kidneys and my liver, digestive system, baby. My hands, they started shaking.